People are craving connection,
Yeah.
especially post-pandemic, right? We had that time alone in the house, and now people are really craving it. But it can be awkward to get started again.
Yeah.
So I threw out a challenge for my AARP class
Oh,
this
yeah.
month. I did. And I said to them, I was kind of channeling you with all of your
Oh, the
daring
daring.
on, right?
Yeah.
But I challenged them to invite a friend over. And AARP is not just 90-year-olds, right? We got to
Oh,
remember AARP is 50.
hi, and welcome to Beyond Empty Nest. I'm your host, Jody Silverman, speaker, mentor, and Chief Dare Officer at Moms Who Dare. Every Thursday, I'll share stories of midlife transformation, happiness tips, and dare you to see the opportunities waiting for you so that you can make this next chapter even better than the last. If you're ready to dare, I'm ready to dare with you. Let's get into today's episode. So, a challenge that I hear a lot that not only affects new empty nesters, but also women in our community who find themselves single in midlife, from divorce or even being widowed, is that of eating meals alone. They find it difficult, they find it hard. And recently, I actually found myself in a conversation with a male friend of ours, my husband and I, who had just lost his wife. And he said that overall he was doing okay, that the hardest part for him is dinner time. And I remember years ago when my father-in-law passed away, that was what my mother-in-law struggled with. She stopped cooking. She found it difficult. She was unmotivated to eat. She didn't want to eat by herself. So eating alone is a huge, not a big, but it's a huge issue that affects families going through whatever life transition, whether it's loss of your partner or spouse, or going from a family of 6 to 4 to 2 to 1, whatever it is for you. So what can we do about it? Today's guest has a fun solution, bringing people together through connection and cooking. Beyond just salt and pepper, Christine Van Bloem of the Empty Nest Kitchen brings a passion for healthy-ish cooking and a dash of creativity to the table, creating connection in the kitchen where you enjoy exciting, flavorful, and fun experiences. As a teacher, cook, writer, and speaker, as well as a cooking school owner for 15 years, Christine helps you adjust and learn while cooking for your own empty nest kitchen. Welcome to the show, Christine.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here, Jody. Thank you.
I'm excited too. And what we didn't say in there is that you now have your own podcast.
I do. I do. I'm following in your good footsteps there.
I love it. And everything is under the name The Empty Nest Kitchen.
Yep.
And
Yep.
don't worry, everybody, in the show notes, for every link to wherever you want to connect with Christine is below in our show notes. And I had the fortunate experience as to experiencing you doing a live virtual cooking experience. We'll get to that in a minute. And we're going to get to our topic about cooking for empty nest. But I want to know, my audience always loves to hear, like, what's the backstory here? How did you wind up the empty nest kitchen?
Well, I mean, how did any of us end up empty nesters, right?
Right.
Darn kids, you put all that time in and then they leave you. What the heck?
I know.
So I had owned a cooking school for 15 years when the pandemic hit. And we didn't quite make it out of there, which was a super bummer, but I love teaching cooking. It is fundamental to who I am. And I knew from my first day when I attended culinary school way back in the day, I knew what I wanted to do was teach, that is where I wanted to be. So when the pandemic hit and everybody went a little wacky doodle and
You think?
everything everything went online, I kind of went into it kicking and screaming because, of course, I had done everything live and in person. And I always say it was 14 years to be an overnight success, right? We were really crushing,
Oh,
but it took
yeah.
that long to get there. So then all this technology started being available. And I ended up hooked up with AARP Maryland. Turns out the guy who had the insurance company beside my cooking school, his wife works for AARP Maryland, and she was interested in outreach programs. And she's kind of the loveliest person you're ever going to find. And that was pre pandemic. And then she reached out again in the pandemic because they wanted to be able to offer something to their members. So now I am teaching classes every month for free, which I think is really cool for AARP and not just Maryland. I have people all over the country that come and join me. It is the most fun. I do a roll call at the beginning of
Yeah.
every class, and you just see it is a very active chat. My people are active, and you will just see all the locations streaming by. I have somebody out in Hawaii who gets up. I mean, bless her heart. Last class, I think I had Alaska and Hawaii. And
Oh,
my
wow.
class, oh, isn't that crazy?
Love it. I
I don't
love
think I'm
it.
that great.
Woo.
But
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You are.
they,
Yeah, that's for Philly. You are.
so they run me, I do it live. And I think for me, the live was the big thing, right? I really like it because it gives you that connection. You were saying in your opening, looking for that connection sort of thing. And that right now is what is totally driving me.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I'm going to tell you something. I guess, is a curse and a gift. The curse is I get ideas at any moment and any time. That's the gift. The curse is that I get them every time, all the time, and want to act.
Yeah.
But you just gave me an amazing idea. Like we could hire you if you have family. Like if you have family, a way to connect with your adult children.
Yeah.
You could plan a virtual live cooking experience for you and your adult children,
Yeah.
a Friday night happy hour cooking experience with Christine. I'm going to do this because my kids love to cook.
Yeah. I'm telling you, it is the most fun. And I am doing, so I do the AARP classes
Right.
first Saturday of the month, 11 a.m. Eastern time. But I do family classes.
Yeah, we'll
When the
hire you.
families spread out, I did a
Yes.
60th birthday party for my own sister-in-law because we had people in Philly and Jersey and New
Love it.
York and all over. And it's a great way to kind of have this fun connection. And then I pop off the Zoom at the end and they can stay on and do their family things.
I,
But
I love it. We're gonna that's like a
it's a
whole
lot of fun.
that's about like using what you do and using your services as a way to stay connected with your adult children if you're feeling disconnected. And now that idea took me away, which is great.
Yeah.
I'm so happy we got it out there because I think it's a fabulous idea and I'm going to share it in the Moms Who Dare group. Um, let's bring it back to cooking for the empty nest because I do hear this from everybody. And
Yeah.
even I'm a cooker. My whole thing with my family was dinner time. I don't care if we had to eat at 4 o'clock or 9 o'clock. I wanted to sit down and have dinner together.
Yeah.
And when that changed, and it was just there was three of us, I had to switch it up. But when it was just me and my husband, I'm like, how do I cook for two? And I got a little funky and a little stuck. And it's the women who it's that, and it's the women who are finding themselves cooking just for themselves. So, what are some of your tips for changing from cooking for a full family to just cooking for a family of yourself or of two?
So, what a great question because I went through the struggle myself. And, I was teaching all of my cooking classes. So, I was cooking for 20 all the time, right?
Right.
20 people. I'd bring leftovers home, we'd be good. And then the kids both started going their own direction. And it was a lot of takeout. We were getting a lot of takeout. And that's just not sustainable financially. Truthfully, I knew that I could make much better stuff at home, right? So I really kind of dug into my pantry, right? I wanted to be able to find things that I didn't have to have a plan if I didn't want to, so that I could kind of go in and see what I had and make something from that. So, couple of my favorite things, and I always say they're going to take my chef card away for this one. I know they are, but to heck with them because I love the individual fish fillets that you can get, right?
Ah, okay.
I absolutely love the frozen fish fillets because fish thaws out really quickly. And what I like about it is it's economical. So you're going to be paying, I shop at Wegmans,
Yeah.
right? So I'm paying about $3 a fillet for salmon and for cod. Shrimp are really inexpensive when you do it that way as
Yeah.
well. I love that. Then my other thing, I can't even believe I'm going to say how much I love my stupid air fryer.
No, I know you do. You
I
use it in
do.
the.
Oh, I love that thing. And there are different kinds of air fryers. So there's one that has a basket, and that's fine. But I'm going to say, all the empty nesters out there, you need to look and find an air fryer. You will not regret this. Find an air fryer that has two little racks in it or two shelves instead of trying to squeeze everything into a basket. And that's gigantic. It is the greatest thing, and I resisted it for years because what's an air fryer really? I mean, it's a convection oven. It's a little baby convection oven.
But why do you like it so much?
I like it so much because number one, I live in a really old house. Okay. So heating and air conditioning, whatever, it's a crapshoot. But I don't want to heat up my whole kitchen when it gets warm out. I remember my mom would always squawk
Oh yeah,
about
my
that.
kitchen gets hot.
It's so hot, right? The little air fryer, no, it doesn't. It might get warm right around there, but it is so great in the summer. I will do just like we did in your class. I did two different things in the air fryer at the same time,
You did.
right? It's really easy to make that work. And I'm not doing weekend cooking on weekdays, right? I'm more about healthy-ish. I'm a heart attack survivor. So I want to have a healthy-ish bent to it. I'm about quick. I really don't want to spend my time standing over the stove by myself.
Right.
Nobody's in the kitchen hanging out with me.
You
I
bet.
don't want to do that. So by leaning on the pantry, diving into things that I can have on hand that are readily accessible and cook quickly, thaw quickly, and by using the silly air fryer, that I
Ah,
just have found so much more happiness in my own kitchen.
no, I love that. I love that. I know Wegmans is great. If I may offer, what I have a market that I have found is really great for cooking for one or two
Yeah.
is also Trader Joe's.
Oh, see, now I have to make a drive to go to a Trader
It's a
Joe's.
destination for me. For Wegmans is more of a destination, but like I've always used. My mom told me about bags of peeled, tailed on frozen shrimp,
Oh,
uncooked,
yeah.
peeled. I throw them in the water. I defrost them. You
Yep.
cook them up. You can make a quick stir fry that in a bag of frozen fried rice and that, and you have a cook, and it's great. So
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to have your chef's license taken away. You're not the first professional chef that I've heard talk about frozen fish because it's convenient, it's less
It
money,
is.
it's quick. I love
It
that.
is. And healthy.
And
We're
healthy.
leaning, we're
Yeah,
leaning a little healthy there.
yeah, I love
So
that. And then so I love that because you're showing us easy, make it easy, don't overthink it. Go in your pantry, pull something out. And you know what, today, besides resources like yourself, you could literally pull out a couple things from the pantry and ask, I have to whisper, Alexa, because
yeah.
she'll go on. And you can ask Google, what's a
Yeah.
recipe using a simple
Yeah.
recipe or a three ingredient recipe with one of the ingredients being this. There's so much at our fingertips today. So I love how you say keep it easy. And the air fryer, there's not a big cleanup. It's simple,
There's not.
compact, you're done. I love that.
Everything fits in the dishwasher.
Yeah,
The one I have,
yeah,
everything comes out and just fits right in the dishwasher.
love it. I
I
love
mean,
it.
hello.
Right. So that's part
Fantastic.
of finding the fun in the kitchen is doing a scavenger hunt in your pantry, I think. But are there other tips you have for finding fun in the kitchen again?
I remember my mom kind of gave up on cooking, right? Because she was tired. That lady loved to eat out.
Yeah.
She would have done every meal she
Yeah, I
could.
don't like
And
eating.
she would, I know, I used to like it more and I like to go out for something really great, but I'm not going out just to get something that's not fantastic anymore. Maybe my old age is setting in.
I got you there.
But
Yeah.
I think that a big thing to finding fun and finding joy in the kitchen and coming back to that connection
Yes.
is to invite over a friend
Yes.
to, right? To my mom loved to have, there was a lady that lived down the street and they became friends and they would eat together sometimes, not every day, not every week, but I think a lot of us get kind of, I call it turtling in, right? When you're just pulling in, pulling in, pulling in, and you're not seeing anyone and there's nothing different happening and you're just kind of going about your days. Invite a friend, or I offer online classes, right?
Live interactive,
Live.
like how that. But you could
Yeah.
also, so you could also invite a friend over and do one of your classes together. Or
That is that's
or
a thing.
how about like my bestie is now sharing her time between California and here. And I could call her, we could make a date. We could make a dinner date with you.
Yeah.
And we could both, purchase access to your online class and we
Yeah.
can cook together and then we could continue in our own Zoom and just eat together.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really, people are craving connection,
Yeah.
especially post pandemic, right? People, we had that time alone in the house and now people are really craving it, but it can be awkward to get started again.
Yeah.
So I threw out a challenge for my AARP class
Oh
this
yeah.
month. I did, and I said to them, I was kind of channeling you with all of your
Oh, the
daring
daring.
on, right?
Yeah.
But I challenged them to invite a friend over. And AARP is not just 90-year-olds, right? We got to
Oh,
remember AARP is 50, right? I've got my
raise them.
card.
Those of you not watching and you're listening,
Yeah.
our hands are in the air. I'll take the
So,
discounts.
yeah, I'll take all those discounts, baby. But it really encompasses this huge age range. And I have had, it's the most fun thing. I have had ladies take the class together and they're sipping mimosas when I'm teaching. They're not even cooking with me.
Okay.
A lot of people cook with me, but sometimes people just watch. People just hang out. It's a fun thing to do.
Well, yeah, and I'll share the experience. So for those of you that might be new to our show, I have a community called Moms Who Dare, and I have a spin-off membership called Moms Who Double Dare. We have just under 30 women in the membership, and I booked Christine to come host a live cooking, either a demo or cook along, whichever you wanted to make it, for the members during our monthly hangout. We have 2 monthly Zoom hangouts to connect and learn and grow together. And it was great. You sent us the shopping list for those that wanted to cook along, or maybe you wanted to cook it the next day. The shopping list, and I sat and I watched, but we had one of the women was cooking right along with you. It was wonderful. And it's an amazing experience. And there was connection. We laughed, we learned. So whether or not you decide to cook with you or just tune in to watch and learn, because what I will say about Christine is you will laugh, you will forget you're on Zoom. You feel like you're in the kitchen with you, you're engaging, you're
Oh,
fun, you're left. And I love the reason I wanted you on the show is number one, all of the above, but the cooking, the connection through cooking. Yes, you can take a class with Christine. You could invite friends over and have a potluck, but instead of everybody bringing a cook, why don't you just come early and we'll all cook our thing? Like you do the chopping of the salad and I'll do this. There's so much we could do with this. These ideas are flowing in my head. And I just think it's an amazing thing because it is hard. And I will share, if you're not in the mood to socialize, but you still want a tip on, how you can make mealtime for two or less or three or less different change. I always say one of my go-to things for empty nesters, when one or all the children leave, it doesn't matter because if one leaves, the whole dynamic changes. So one of the things I say is develop a new normal, come up with a different routine. And for me, when my daughter left, my husband was still, he's a CPA, so during tax season, he's non-existent. And I knew between him and myself, the two of us are the fastest eaters in the house. The mealtime was going to be all of 5 minutes long with
Yeah.
nothing said. And that wasn't going to work for me. So we came up with it ourselves. We picked a show, a series, and I'd make the dinner. We would set up in the family room and we would watch TV while eating. And before you say, but you're not talking, when you have a son, playing a video game with your son,
Yeah.
watching TV with your son,
Yeah.
doing an activity with your son, at least most of the moms of boys that I know, that is connection because we would talk. We would talk in between. I don't know if there was fast forwarding then, but it turned out to be great. So maybe your new normal is, once a week picking your favorite show and setting up like a picnic in your family room to watch your show while you eat your food.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
if you want to eat alone, if you can't do an interactive one, change up your routine a little bit. Maybe sit outside, bring your book, your Kindle, sit outside on your patio or your front step, make yourself a little picnic outside. Do
Yeah.
something different, change it up. Because when you change your scenery and you change up your routine, it changes in your brain.
I think you're totally right.
Yeah.
When I think about it here, I think about the four of us used to sit at our dining room table and we would talk and we would do the thing. And then our son went to school and we did that with our daughter. And then she went to school and it was just the two of us. And my husband is a teacher. So, same thing with the CPA, during the school year, forget about it.
Yep.
So, if you're one person and you're sitting at that same dining room table where you sat with the whole family,
Yeah.
it can be a little sad. I mean, it
Yeah.
can be a little sad. And if that doesn't bug you, you're amazing. But you're right. Find a new routine. Find somewhere. Sometimes we eat out on the front porch.
Yeah.
You know,
Change
it's
it up.
nice. Yeah,
Change it
change it
up.
up.
Change up your routine. But most importantly, to me, the biggest takeaway of this episode with you is there are so many creative ways to create connection through cooking with
Yes.
others. And I will tell you, what I love about this is that nobody listening to this episode has to even think about it. They're going to go to theemptynestkitchen.com and figure it out. And they're going to attend one of your live cooking experiences. And then they're going to want to see then they're going to want to book you like I do. Like, I can't wait to do this with my kids. I can't wait. This is the longest I've gone without seeing my daughter. She lives in Washington, D.C. It's been over 2 months. I've never gone that long. Well, other
Yeah.
than when she was in college. But this is different. And now I know the
Yeah.
next time we see a future where there's months and weeks and weeks and months in there, I'm going to plan this with you. We're going to
Yeah,
do
it is a great way because it's live and I learn best that way.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing a recording, I'll be honest with you, that's just not how I personally learn well. So I limit my class size so that we can have an active chat. And one of the things I love about it is people are in their own kitchens, right? So they're working with their own equipment and that pan they've had for 150 years or
Yes.
but if they have a question, I taught a pizza class recently and I could see the pizza dough the one family was working with just wasn't coming together. So I could kind of hone in on them and talk them through. And at the end, they said, we never would have gotten that if we weren't here talking to you.
There you go.
So I love that. And can I tell you a quick story? Because this is
Absolutely. No, stories are great.
oh,
Love stories, I'll be
this
honest.
is this is a recent thing. So I got a registration for a class, and it was a fella who had taken live in-person classes with me. And I mentioned him. I saw he had his camera off during the class, and I said, "Oh, hey, so nice to see you. I remember you and your lovely wife, and so great." And halfway through the class, he dropped off. And all I could think, because this is how we think, right? All I could think was, oh my gosh, he hated it. It wasn't right for him.
Ah,
It was too simplistic. It wasn't this, it wasn't that. Saw he signed up for the next week. Well, before class, I got an email from him that said his wife had passed away last summer very suddenly. And he's a great cook. He's awesome. But, I felt awful. But then he did this second class, second week in a row with me. And at the end, he said, when you said we were baking biscuits, all I could think of was, I don't bake. My wife baked. I don't bake. And then he pulls out this pan of the most stunning biscuits I've ever seen. They were so glorious. And he said, "This is amazing. I can't believe I did it." And then he came the next week. And, it's just, it gave me, I've got little goosebumpies right now,
Yeah.
because it just, how when you decide to do something, you can question every angle of it forever and
Oh,
ever.
absolutely.
Right. And this to me was like, yes, this is what I'm supposed to be doing because I feel connected to him. He feels connected to me. I do my classes on Sunday afternoons. So you've got supper ready at the end of class.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a good time, but it's this wonderful connection. And I love it. It really made me feel like, yes, I'm on the right path.
Yes, no, I don't think there's anybody out there that's not an entrepreneur that hasn't in the creative space of creating something, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a cooking show, whatever it is, that wonders, if I build it, will they come? And is it making a difference? These are great questions, and the answer is always yes, because all you need is
Mm,
one person. All you need is to touch one person. And it's like, I'm not going to drop it. It's a mic drop moment, right? So
yeah,
I love that.
you're
So,
totally right.
all right, make it fun. Check out your pantry, get creative, ask Google about the pantry, or shoot Christine a message. And you know what? Let's get you connected through live experiences with Christine because this is a great dare. That way, and I'm gonna put it out there. Even if you're not single, if you're trying to create connection between you and your partner, the kids are all gone, and all of a sudden you look across the dinner table, you're like, when did you get here? Who are you? I've had people say that to me, that they look at their husbands and say, when did you get here? And that doesn't mean your marriage is over. It just means, okay, the kids were all consuming, which they are, and we devote everything to them. And then all of a sudden it's just the two of you and you've lost sight of what you like to do together.
Yeah.
So take a cooking class. So your dare, I love your dare. Your dare is you're daring listeners to take a class with you.
Yeah, they can take a class with me. They can take a class with someone else, but I teach a pretty good class.
I think you do.
So,
And you're also saying that, yes, you can pay for a class, you can hire you privately to do a class. And yet, if you want to try it out and really experience Christine on her website, there's a free option with AARP each month.
and you don't have to be a member. You
Oh,
do have to sign up for the class. That's really important to them, but you don't even have to be a member.
I love that. And every link you need to find Christine and her classes and her offerings and how to speak with her and how to book her social media, follow her, fan her, love her, like her podcasts are all in the show notes below, including you're sharing a downloadable guide with our audience too. What's that guide?
Okay, so I pulled together a guide. I have all the kitchen tools, right? I
Yes, you
love the
do.
kitchen tools, but I have really unloaded a lot of them. And I've got it now boiled down to what I consider my 10 essential tools for the empty nest kitchen. It's just a nice little freebie that I did up so that everybody can see some fun stuff they might want to have.
I love that. So grab on the link, just download the 10 tool. I have it. Very good, by the way.
Thank you.
And then dare to check out Christine's website and dare to experience a connection through cooking experience with Christine. You will not regret it. Um, yeah, that's your dare. That's a wrap.
That's my dare.
I love it. Christine, thank you for being on the show. I love this, and I can't wait to have you back to our community again. And listen, everybody, you know that my mission in starting the show was to share other midlife transformation stories, other empty nest stories, so that you could thrive through this next chapter and take something from every guest. What was it today? What was the one tip, the tool, the strategy, the aha moment? I know you heard all my ideas coming to me. What was it for you from this conversation with Christine? Let me know. Drop me a comment, leave a review, email me, however you can. I'm in social media. You can't miss me either. And don't forget that next week there'll be another brand new episode of Beyond Empty Nest. And as I always say, dare on. Thank you for listening to this episode of Beyond Empty Nest. For detailed show notes and more information, be sure to visit jodysilverman.com. Have you heard of the Double Dares? Well, we're a community of moms and midlife women blending virtual and in-person interactions for connection, support, and exciting experiences. From Mommy and Me classes to soccer sidelines, moms have always found strength in community. And as we navigate the empty nest and other midlife transitions, having that go-to safe space and other women to lean on is a must. Ladies, this is not the chapter to do it alone. Our drama-free group echoes the sentiment of the Cheers theme song, a place where everybody knows your name and our troubles are all the same. If you've been seeking connection and have a desire to figure out who you are and what your purpose is now, then Moms Who Double Dare is the perfect fit for you. Only through the link in our show notes below can you explore and enjoy the first month at half off. Plus, with no contracts, there's zero risk involved. Join us today and get started on your journey of self-discovery, surrounded by new friends who understand and get you. You've sent your kids off to brave new experiences, meet new people, and discover who they get to be. Now, it's your turn. It's your turn to embrace this new adventure. If you're ready to dare on, I'm here to lead the way. Let's embark on this exciting journey together. Click the link below, and as I always say, dare on.